Hey guys, welcome to Talk to Yue. This is part 3 of my series on HSK4 writing section. So if you missed the previous 2 videos, make sure to check out my playlist, which is linked above. So let's get right into it. In the previous video, we covered questions up to number 75. So now we're going to start with 76 and complete the 4 remaining questions of this kind before we move on to the longer paragraphs that will be in the 4th and final part of this series. So let's read the question 76. 学校举办这次活动是想帮助学生们. So 举办 means organizing, usually organizing an event. So the 活动, the activities that are being organized by the school or that the school is organizing. 想帮助学生们, they want to help students to A. 认识汉字 to get to know characters. B. 熟悉校园 to get familiar with the school campus. C. 提高信心 to increase confidence. D. 相互增加了解 相互 means mutually, each other. 增加 increase, 了解 understanding. So understand each other better, essentially. So let's read the paragraph. 马校长介绍说学校举办这次文化节活动，一方面是想让各国学生更好地了解中国，另一方面是想为学生们提供互相交流和学习的机会。So Ma is a surname, and in fact, after it we have the title, 校长, which is the principal of a school. So Principal Ma said in his presentation, and then we have a sentence that starts like the question. So 学校举办这次活动, which kind of activities? 文化节. So activities from the culture festival. So the activities organized for this festival, 一方面, so on one side, they are meant to 让各国学生, so to let students from each country 更好的, even better, 了解中国. To understand China. 另一方面 as well as, on the other side, 为学生们 so in favor of students, 提供互相交流和学习的机会. So to be a 机会, an opportunity for communication, 交流 and 学习, study, or learning, more in this case. So let's look at our options. Option A is not mentioned anywhere because it talks about Hanzi, which is not present in the text. Same for the xiaoyuan, so the school campus. Same for option C with xingxing, to increase confidence. That's not mentioned, so we're left with option D, which indeed says to increase the 了解, the understanding of people mutually. And in fact, we have 了解 mentioned here, even though it is mentioned to say to understand China better. But also we have the idea of being a mutual opportunity to learn. And that is what option D says. So it is answer D. Then let's go to the next question. 比赛前他 So before the competition, he 更努力 He's even more diligent. B 十分兴奋 兴奋 means excited. 十分 literally means 10 points or 10 parts, meaning completely. He's totally excited, extremely excited. C 非常着急 He's extremely nervous. Or D 停止了练习 停止 to stop. So he stopped practicing. So let's read. 他平时就对自己要求很严格，尤其是赛前那个星期，他每天都会把全部动作练习好几遍，希望在比赛中做到最好。So 平时 means normally. So he normally 对自己 towards himself has very strict 要求 means requirements. 严格 means strict. So he's usually very strict with himself. 尤其 especially 赛前那个星期 especially that week before a competition. 他每天都 he every day will 把全部动作 so the entire workout essentially he will 练习好几遍 he will have practiced a few times. 希望 he hopes that 在比赛中 that in the competition he will 做到最好 do it his best. So before the competition, we see that option A is not explicitly mentioned, but the same meaning is present. So he is diligent with himself. So let's keep it in mind. Option B is not mentioned because there's no mention of being excited or really which feelings there are. So there's no mention of seeing Fen from option B and also Zhao Ji from option C. And same thing for answer D, there is no mention at all of stopping practice. If anything, he's practicing even more. So it is answer A. Then let's go to 78. 拒绝握手拒绝 to refuse 握手 a handshake. So 拒绝握手后为什么要马上道歉? So after refusing a handshake, why should you immediately apologize? A. 减少误会减 to reduce 误会 misunderstandings. So to reduce. Then B. 怕人害意 So being scared that people will suspect, be suspicious. 向引人同情 引 means to attract. So you want to attract people's sympathy, 同情. D. 向获得表扬获得 to receive 表扬 praise, compliments. So let's see what number 78 says. 拒绝握手是不礼貌的。不过，当手不干净时，可以先拒绝，然后马上解释原因，否则可能引起误会，让人以为你不友好。So 拒绝握手 so refusing a handshake 是不礼貌的。礼貌 means politeness or good manners. So it is not polite. 不过 with the exception of 手不干净时 of when your hands are not clean. 可以先拒绝 so you can first refuse 然后 then 马上 immediately 解释 to explain 原因 the reason. 并对此表示抱歉 and to 抱歉 apologize for this. 否则 otherwise 可能 you can 引起误会 you can attract misunderstandings. 让人以为 you can make people think 你不友好 that you're not friendly. So let's go back to the question. Why do we need to immediately apologize? 减少误会 so to reduce misunderstandings. That is a possible answer. Option B is not mentioned because we have a mention of being suspicious that is not present in the text anywhere. Same for attracting compassion, 同情. And same for attracting 表扬, praise. So it is option A. So let's go to question 79, which is also the last one for this video, because then I will make a separate video for the last few questions, because you will see that they are different. So, 老师鼓励叶诗文学游泳，是因为觉得他 So, the teacher 鼓励 encouraged 叶诗文 this is a name of a person, we will find out in the paragraph, encouraged this person to learn how to swim because he thought that she A. 聪明 was intelligent, B. 跑得快 was running fast, C. 获过奖 received awards, and D. 身体条件好条件 is condition, so the physical condition was good. So let's read the text. 叶诗文是中国著名的游泳运动员。他6岁时就自同龄人高不少，老师看他手脚也大，身体其他条件也很符合游泳运动员的要求，就鼓励他专门去学游泳。尽管他现在只有16岁，但已经获得了好几个国际大奖。So this person called 叶诗文 is, this is all a relative sentence, so we need to go at the end of it after the. 游泳运动员 is an athlete. So this person is a swimmer, 中国著名, a famous Chinese swimmer. 她6岁时, when she was 6, 就比同龄人 is people of the same age, so her peers. So compared to her peers, she was 高不少. So she was taller and not by a little margin. So she was much taller than them. The teacher saw that her 手脚, that her hands and feet were also big. 身体其他条件 and the other physical conditions 也很符合, they were also in accordance with, they also respected the, another relative sentence, so the 要求, the requirements of 游泳运动员, so of a swimmer. 就鼓励她, so he encouraged her, 专门 to specifically or to specialize 去学游泳, so to specialize in learning how to swim. 尽管, even if, or although, she now is only 16, 但已经 she already 获得了, she already received many, some, 几个, a few, 国际大奖. 大奖 is award, 国际, international. So she already received international awards. So let's go back to the question. Her being 聪明 is not mentioned anywhere, so it is not option A. Same for running. We're not talking about running, we're talking about swimming, so it is not option B. Option C is mentioned, 获过奖. So she did receive awards, but we need to remember that the question is why the teacher 鼓励她学游泳. Why did he encourage her to study swimming? It did not happen because she won awards. She won awards after she was encouraged to swim. So let's look at option D, which indeed says 身体条件好. So her physical condition was good, which is precisely why her teacher encouraged her. So it is option D. So this was the last question we're going to address today. I just wanted to show you guys the final portion of the reading section, which will be covered in a separate video. And these are the last few questions. Here you see you have 2 questions for each paragraph. So it is maybe a lot more reading for the questions, slightly longer options as well to read. And you have 6 questions like this, so until 85. So since this exercise is quite long already, I will stop here and I will see you guys in the final part of this series. So thank you so much for going over these 4 questions with me and good luck in your Chinese learning journey. 再见!